Okay, so I arrived at Fort Smith, and it was daylight, and I was dropped off at the mall, a perfect place to sit down and think. It happened to be Monday, so I was doing the ATM Monday. Alternative to money, if you don't know, ATM is something that I set up in Jacksonville. It's just a bartering system where I am the middleman, so to keep people remembering to use it, all I do is call up people and connect them with other people. And I made a list that is online for them, and I remind them every Monday. Well, that was Monday, and it was my time. I do it with someone else, and I won't mention her name here, but she helps me too. She does it on Sunday, but we weren't coordinating and blah blah. That's beside the point. All right, so ATM, I was doing it on Monday. So while I was doing it on Monday, I was using up a lot of time where I could be looking for more people, but I had an obligation to do, and I had to balance my obligation with my necessity. Well, excuse me, I didn't do it well. So yeah, I got there and I called as many people as I could. I didn't call them all. Sorry. And I couldn't find a place to sleep. It was nighttime, and I really didn't want to sleep. I was kind of really agitated and depressed when I arrived there, because I could have kept going north with the lady that took me to Fort Smith, but I thought Fort Smith was ideal because there was a college there, so I could have done that, but I decided against it. So I don't believe in destiny, but this is crazy. Just as you listen to the story, it's almost like everything is fitting in place. But that's always backwards thinking everything fits in place when you're thinking about it afterwards. But so I didn't want to go further where I ended up having to go, or at least I ended up wanting to go. Didn't want to go further north. I wanted to stay at Fort Smith so I could cross roads with anyone traveling west. I didn't want to go northwest. So I stayed at Fort Smith, but I found out that I wanted to go north because a person that could have given me a ride would have been a lot closer to being able to give me a ride. But she was passing where I would have been, but I didn't. So I was kind of pretty depressed about that. So I didn't want to go to sleep. So what I did is I began to drive and ride my bike. And I began to ride my bike towards the area that I wanted to be. There was no bus. There was nothing. There was just people outside. And it wasn't that late. But I was so tired of I guess, thinking or, whatever. I don't know, strategizing. But I did not do what I needed to do and strategize then. I just rode my bike towards where I wanted to be. And I kept riding, and I was tired. And I finally got to a point while driving that I was just tired. And you'll see a video where I decided to change my mind, even about my videos. But so I stopped, and I sat my bike down to the side, and I just sat there. Not really thinking well. I just sat there, and the mosquitoes started to eat me up. Those things are ruthless. And they started to eat me up. So I got my backpack on. This thing, if I say it often, got my backpack on, it's because it was a job putting that backpack on. It was so heavy. It's still heavy now. So I got my backpack on, and I got my bike. And I just started rolling it. I could have gotten on it and gotten on in the road, but I was just rolling with it. I just rolled it along. And I finally saw, it was just right across the street that I crossed. And I saw these guys right next to I was next to the college. These guys, one of them went to college, and it seemed like they were at their regular hangout spot. And they, they were skateboarding, and I've never really sat and watched people skateboard. And I was tired, I was drained, and I hadn't really talked to that many strangers, which was my original goal, So I sat there and watched them, and I started getting my stuff, and then I sat there and watched them. and one of them approached me, and we started talking, and these guys were awesome. They told me their walk to life and everything that they were wanting to do, and they did, and how they felt about things, and we got along pretty well. And I jumped on the skateboard and almost broke my booty bone, but it was pretty cool. And then they all compiled money and gave it to me for a hotel. And the hotel was really far away, but I was the happiest ever. So I jumped on my bike and I rode towards the hotel. I was hot and sweaty when I got to the hotel, but I was happy. The owner, or the person, the manager, thought I was running from someone because I was just so sweaty and tired, breathing hard when I arrived there. But I was happy, so I didn't care. And the hotel was horrible, but I didn't care. It was wonderful for me because it had a bathtub, and I used that bathtub to wash my one pair of clothes that was not as heavy as having multiple. So that's why I only have my one pair of clothes, and I could sit and lie on the bed. Dirty bed? Yes, but it's a bed. So yeah, I went to sleep there, and I had sent some Craigslist messages out of people for a rideshare. And when I woke up, I saw that I received a message from someone on rideshare. That message was from two people. These two people that's the most recent thing, and it was crazy with these two people that I met. I'll tell you their names for the next episode. This episode, one was Nikila, the other was Derek. A white guy, Derek, with a mustache, didn't wear shoes, and the other, Nikila, very heavy set, maybe about 5'3", black woman that keeps her hair back, and they were crazy. They weren't crazy, they just had, I'll tell you about it later.